everybody, welcome to League on Lock. Eric and Mark here looking at the final day of group stage action from MSI 2018. It's been a wild one, it's been a barn burner, whatever you want to call it. Upset city, basically. No real standout dominance that we were expecting from the likes of Kingzone and RNG so far.
Yeah, we were definitely expecting heading into this tournament that we would see these Eastern region champions come right out and dominate this tournament and say, hey, we're the gods, we are the ones that you have to take down. And looks like they've been some god slayers at this tournament because they've been falling.
I guess everyone at the tournament is just gods for them to be killing one another. Later on in the show, we're going to take a look back at our predictions. So make sure you're checking that out. But first, we got to finish and wrap up day one. How did we get to the final standings? Well, it started off with Fnatic taking on Kingzone. And, you know, tiebreaker implications, Fnatic needed to win 2 games, and they're good, 100% into semifinals. 1, and then Liquid has to go 2-0. So there was a lot of implications, but just win against Kingzone and get things started. They did it earlier, as Mark predicted.
Yeah, I said it. This would be the Western team, Fnatic, and they were the ones. They got it done. Could they do it a second time?
Probably not with a support Sejuani. That's an interesting start to this game. But Fnatic actually started out pretty well here. You had Caps back on the Yasuo, which he's actually looked fantastic on at this tournament. Unlike someone like Pobelter, aggressive flash, smooth, grabs him the first blood. We're getting kills everywhere for Fnatic.
There's that Sejuani.
3-1 start for them. You're looking good. Gonna 2-0 the LCK champs. Easy peasy. And here's that Sejuani putting in some work. This double kill that Caps ends up getting here is absolutely insane.
It's pretty filthy.
This guy is an animal. He gets in the bounce house under the inner, going diving inhib turrets, and he managed to come up with the double kill. That was looking good, but Reckless here for the one lone caster minion, 14 gold. He overextends, no flash, because he already did that exact same thing earlier. It leads to getting 2 of his teammates killed, and he goes down.
You hate to see that because that's something that I do. That's what I would want to do. I want to get that little bit of extra gold, and I'm stupid enough to get caught out. Reckless, you can't do that, buddy.
Can't do that. His rough tournament continues. That would lead to a Baron attempt for Kingzone. They grab 2 more kills, and then they're like, all right, now we can get it for sure. Baron for them, and really from that play in the mid lane, it snowballed pretty quickly. Then they're back on the Baron again, and I mean, you look at the kills, they're so far behind. Even Reckless kind of has a nice play here, survives, takes down Prey, but they're pretty far behind.
Yeah, definitely too little, too late here from Reckless. This was a game where you were out ahead at the beginning, you had that control, you just were not able to keep it with how much that Kingzone can pressure you and keep bringing you into these fights where you always have to be perfect. Can't be done for Fnatic here a second time. Yeah,
and they grab another Baron there, the Sejuani ult whiffs from there, and you just see how tanky these Kingzone members are. They can dive this inhib, no problem. Khan is getting pretty strong on that gangplank, and obviously Prey is an absolute animal. You let him get Kai'Sa.
Yep,
that's GG right there.
There's that Kai'Sa, GG easy. Rack him up one more time. Fnatic drop into 4 and 5.
And more quadra kills. This MSI tournament has been the tournament of quadra kills. Not quite getting pentas. That one was the very first kill of the fight that Khan got. So you can't flame him for stealing that penta because it was the first kill. So no blame there. But yeah, Kingzone wins that, and their hopes for finishing the group stage in first stay alive, and Fnatic I mean, people were kind of expecting them to lose to Kingzone the second time.
Right. Even me, picking that.
Yeah, you weren't saying 2-0.
Two wins against a Korean team, that's something crazy. It could have been done. They had a chance to do it. They showed that they were in that front seat at the beginning. But again, the dominance from Kingzone shines through, and they find a way to pick up that win.
Second match of the day, you had RNG taking on EVOS, and that was such a slaughter, it's not even safe for work, so we're not even going to show you the highlights. RNG got way ahead, and Uzi completely destroyed them.
You just don't want to watch this. Like, I mean, unless you want to watch an AD carry just massacre a whole team over and over and over again, then you can probably watch that. But for now, we can't show you it because Uzi was just too nasty.
Yeah, inappropriate for television. Game 3, Flash Wolves taking on Liquid, and now this is must win for Liquid. They got to go at least 1-1 in hopes of forcing a tiebreak against Fnatic. Flash Wolves, though, they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, but the Flash Wolves, they definitely have to be worried about Team Liquid in this one because, hey, Team Liquid's fighting for 4th place. They've got to keep the dream for 4th alive.
Yeah, they lost 2 in a row, not 3 in a row. And we got that Malzahar here for Pobelter, which I mean, has been a comfort pick for him, and Flash Wolves got out to the nice start here, as a lot of teams did against Liquid in this tournament. Just throw everything bottom.
Yeah, definitely a tough start for Liquid, and something that we had seen in the NALCS had been an issue for them is when they were behind, they didn't have ways to get back into games. But hey, this one, they really had that backbone working for them, and they got right back into it against Flash Wolves.
Yeah, this is the old press R under turret when teams overextend a bit. Liquid behind quite a bit coming into this fight, but they do manage to take down the Swain after a very long time. And you see all these fights starting off by just pole belter ulting someone, which is why he seems so comfortable on this Malzahar pick. But this game was all about Double Lift. He was the main damage source. Actually, right here, it's about Betty popping off on the Kog'Maw. But Double Lift, for how much Team Liquid struggles in this tournament, Double Lift has had a pretty stellar tournament.
Yeah, definitely talking about all the, incredible ADCs that were coming to this tournament that we were going to have, an absolute paradise to pick from, and Double Lift has been one of the guys to step up the most. Uzi has been fantastic and really shown that he's the god that he is, and Prey has again been good for Kingzone, but not as great as we expected, but Double Lift has stepped up and been absolutely massive for Team Liquid. He is the hard carry for them, getting it done. He's the reason why they're picking up any of these wins in these games.
Yeah, pretty much almost across the board, you saw guys underperforming at this tournament for Liquid, save for Double Lift, and at times Xmithy has had his moments as well. But this fight in particular, this is the game-winning ceiling fight, if you will. It's Double Lift. It looks like he's dead, but don't forget about the Kai'Sa.
He's Kai'Sa. He's gonna just pop off, destroying people. Love to see that. The man Double Lift coming in here. We challenged him at the start of this tournament saying that, hey, you were our best North American player, but you're only number 10. You're behind your buddy Reckless here. You've got to step it up. And what does he do? Definitely does step up and puts together a fantastic performance.
And that's the first time you really see the guys on Liquid actually excited about a win, because coming into that, I mean, 1-5, 2-5, you're like, yeah, well, we're still scoop. But now 4-5, you're still alive in this tournament. You're tied with Fnatic, and there's still a chance for them to get out of the get into the semifinals, which didn't look likely with an 0-4 start.
Yeah, you have to be thinking good things if you're Team Liquid at that moment, thinking, hey, we started 0-4, but we've battled all the way back here, and we're right in contention for a chance to move on to Paris. This is where we want to be.
So Liquid gets their 4th win, and then Fnatic follows up the next match against EVOS, and Fnatic's sitting at 4-5. So you win this, you really put the pressure on Liquid. They gotta win against RNG to keep their hopes alive. And EVOS looking to play spoilers to get their 2nd win, get some revenge against Fnatic, but that's a Sivir.
Oh, this is a questionable draft from Fnatic heading into this one. I don't understand why you're taking the Sivir here. You don't necessarily need it into anything that EVOS was showing. It never was going to provide you the benefits that another AD carry would, and it really did come back to bite Fnatic in the behind here because they lose this one.
Yeah, it was so scary, so sad for Caps to not get that kill, but I mean, he's had a fantastic group stage. This game, not so much. He had a rough game on Zoe, and I mean, the early game was okay for Fnatic. I mean, here, I don't know, why are you running sideways, Caps?
What are you doing?
2 flashes aren't enough to save him there. He goes down. And then these mid-game team fights, which was Fnatic's bread and butter in the EULCS. They just played for these late-game comps, but did not go well in this game, and really hasn't for the whole tournament.
This was certainly a match where you got to see it right up in front of your eyes for sure. Seeing that, hey, Caps has been the guy that's been carrying them this entire tournament, and when Caps doesn't have an outstanding standout performance here, the team isn't good enough around him right now in their performance and their competition level to bring it up enough to support him.
Yeah, and a lot of these fights, Reckless just seemed so afraid to make a mistake that he wasn't willing to go out on the edge, near the front line at least, like aggressive like you see a guy like Uzi do. And Fnatic kind of get dumpstered by EVOS. That was the game they were supposed to win against the Vietnamese squad to, really cement their playoff spot, put the pressure on Liquid, but they fall short, and you can tell the boys in Fnatic are not happy.
Nope, they're not happy, and they shouldn't be with that type of performance against EVOS. But EVOS, they're happy. They managed to salvage here this MSI by picking up another win against one of these bigger teams here. Good for them to show up here on this last day and still come out fighting.
Yeah, get a little bit of pride. Coming up after the break, even 4 games in, first place and the final spot in semifinals still up for grabs in the group stage. We're back on League Unlock. Eric and Mark here. So Fnatic drops a game to EVOS. Hurts their playoff implications quite a bit. And Flash Wolves already lost to Liquid earlier in the day, which means their matchup against Kingzone, heavy implications for first place. Basically, whoever wins this is guaranteed at least a tiebreaker for first place. So a lot of implications on here. Flash Wolves already beat Kingzone earlier on in the tournament, but they have lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, but Flash Wolves, again, you've got to remember, these are the gods at slaying the Koreans. They definitely take it to SKT anytime they've done that before in the past. Now it's Kingzone, and they're looking to go for that 2-0 against the LCK champions.
And we've just got to announce whenever we have a Yasuo in the game. We have one here. He actually contributed to First Blood. Khan's on another tank.
Oh,
and
man.
This is getting to be a huge lead already for Flash Wolves. They just played, I really like this team comp with that bot lane of Ashe and Janna. And in that top lane, you had a carry versus a tank, which you're accustomed to seeing Khan play the carry role, but he's on tank duty.
Yeah, if I'm Khan, I'm starting to get a little bit angry here at the coaching staff and the rest of the teammates. I want to be playing carries. Start putting Khan on the carries. It's what everyone wants to see. And not only is that what everyone wants to see, it's actually what's better for your team here. If Khan was on a carry into any of these matchups against the Flash Wolves, I can almost guarantee you that the rest of the game would unfold differently. Does that mean that Kingzone would automatically win? No, but I think that they would have a better chance of it at least.
That's a feels bad and just tells you how the game is going when a Sion ults in and immediately flashes out because he does no damage, there's no follow-up. It looks like it's not just SKTs that Flash Wolves can take down at international events. It's just the LCK in general. They moved to 7-3, huge win for the LMS squad, 7-3 in the group stage. Definitely overperforming what people were expecting. And yeah, they had lost 3 in a row coming into this one, but they 2-0 Kingzone in the group stage.
Now, I full-on expected the Flash Wolves to be a good team and to come in here strong for MSI, but I still had them predicted at the bottom of my results. Looks like I'm completely wrong on that one, Eric. They've definitely really proved their worth here at MSI, and especially the one thing that I did not count on happening here at this tournament is Betty. Betty has been popping off in that bot lane. I thought with all the other strong ADCs here, we'd see Betty get outshined and kind of sent to the back here, but he's definitely popped right up and he's putting out some incredible damage.
Yeah, he's been one of the, probably a top 3 AD at the tournament, which is something you probably were not expecting coming into it. So Flash Wolves moved to 7-3, which means Kingzone, you're not finishing first. And the final match, RNG and Liquid, again, heavy implications because you've got RNG. If they win, it's a tiebreaker with them for first place, and Liquid obviously fighting. If they win, Fnatic, good night. Good night, EU, after starting 4-3. And look at that. Cobelter, you got the Malzahar again, double lift on the Jhin. I don't like the Jhin.
The Jhin, and this is coming from here. I love the champion Jhin. I think Jhin is one of the best.
Game over.
One of the best champions that Riot has ever made. Just not in this situation. It's
one
not gonna work.
mistake there for double lift. He oversteps Uzi and Ming. Ming goes in immediately. They get a huge lead. They get the first turret. Then they get another kill in the top lane. They just knew exactly when double lift's flash was down in a lot of these team fights. And it was a rough game for double lift. That one mistake just basically completely snowballed the game. And Letme's Ornn ultimates were on point this game. Anytime you heard it, it was like someone is about to die on Liquid.
Yeah, it was definitely, and again, when we've said that Double Lift was the strongest performer for Team Liquid, that is absolutely true. And again, he was pretty much in this performance in this game as well too, but he just wasn't able to do anything based off of that one early mistake that he made that RNG are able to capitalize on, and they're so good and so strong in that bot lane with Uzi and Ming that they can just keep expanding on that one mistake that you made.
That's an aggressive flash forward. Take notes, AD carries of the tournament. That's how you flash forward as an AD carry. Uzi, when he gets a lead, GG. FF, man.
RNG,
it's over.
RNG now has to decide in their draft. This is the thing that we've talked about with them in the past. One of their issues is that they've had trouble identifying what they need to be prioritizing in draft and pick and ban phases. Well, I'll tell you what right here, right now, you need to be prioritizing getting Uzi on early game champion spikes. Something like an Ezreal, something like a Kog'Maw that can hit that first item and have some good effectiveness in team fights. That's absolutely where you get the most out of Uzi and you're getting the most out of your team.
And the most out of their team is a tiebreaker for first place, 7-3, which means we got extra games on the final day of the group stage, which people were probably kind of expecting as the standings dwindled down. RNG Flash Wolves up first. RNG right back onto the Rift with first place on the line. Flash Wolves 2-0 Kingzone. Can they get a win against RNG, who, by the way, have looked fantastic? Won 4 in a row, rolling through after struggling in the earlier weeks. Ashe Soraka in that bottom lane. Malzahar for Xiaohu this time, and Uzi on a comfort pick in the Ezreal.
Yeah, this is it, what I've been talking about. You need to have that champion. Get Uzi rolling early, get him on that gold, get him some damage, and it's going to be good for RNG.
Totally different matchup in that bottom lane as opposed to that Liquid matchup, but it was the exact same thing. Ezreal Karma, Ming goes in for an aggressive flash, burns some summoners, then RNG dives. Uzi gets insanely ahead. This game was also disgusting. We only showed this because it was a tiebreaker, because it's also not safe for work. Uzi is up. He Flame Horizons Betty in this one, and it's just, Uzi's an animal. That's it.
And this is, this whole tournament is nobody's a slouch here. You're the champion of your region to get here. But even at that point, you have the rankings of who's good here at this tournament. And Betty has been fantastic this tournament. And Uzi's like, you're just another chum. I'm going to take you down.
Yeah, and Uzi, deservedly so, is getting an insane amount of credit in this group stage. But it's really him and Ming in that bottom lane. Back-to-back games, Ming basically secures, locks up first blood and first turret for RNG in that bottom lane. And on something like a Karma, which you're not expecting to be this crazy aggressive dive-in support, but he plays it aggressively, sets it up, and I'm pretty sure Uzi is averaging a triple kill in this tournament.
Yeah, Uzi's definitely deserved a lot of credit, and everyone has been saying how fantastic he is, and you're right about that, but then definitely with Ming here, he has definitely stepped up and shown that he is one of these top-level supports, and he's worthy of being alongside that bot lane with Uzi there for RNG.
Yeah, it's not even close who the best bottom lane at the tournament so far has been. It is RNG's. They've been rolling, but we got one more tiebreaker on the day, and how else would you want to wrap up the day than with NA versus EU Survivor match? Only one gets through to the semifinals, Fnatic and Liquid. Both teams have had their struggles so far in this tournament, but Fnatic lost 3 in a row coming into this. They were 4-3, looking prime for playoffs. Not so much.
This is the decider, the tiebreaker, not only for the playoff spot, but for between Fnatic and TL for the best of 3 series. Let's find out how it goes.
And you know with NAEU, you're going to have a spicy one. And look at this first blood. Let's just have a fiesta around the red buff. Xmithy gets the steal, but oh no, Impact's getting low.
Oh boy.
And we're level 1 here, guys. Buipo is flashing under an inner turret. He can't get the kill. He goes down. Xmithy gets the first kill. Then he's got the BM recall, but Impact the minions, man!
No!
That last auto,
Dude.
You just had to ignite and walk away. But he autos the minions aggro, he dies. And the strategy against Liquid, camp the bottom lane. Ole has no flash here, they already burned it. Double Lift watches his support die.
Goodbye, Mr. Ole.
And they chase, it almost looked like he was gonna get away there, but I mean, Fnatic just threw a bunch of guys bottom, but they were also action up top. Impact just seemed completely unaware of what was going on in the map at times, and the fact that he's even on a carry champion's a problem.
Yeah, he did good there to get the trade kill at least on Hylissang, taking too many of those turret shots, but this was definitely not the performance you needed from a world champion like Impact. You had to have him be better for you in that top lane, especially on a matchup that he had. Vladimir right now into that gangplank, the power that Vladimir has with some of these items and how well he can scale into these matchups. He definitely should have had the advantage heading into this one, and then especially with the start that he was given by Buipo being so aggressive, wasn't able to capitalize on it.
This looks like solo queue. This is all one sequence, all these last fights, by the way. It's just Fnatic picking up kills after kills. They end up Double Lift gets 1 in exchange. Not exactly worth it. Super late on this Baron. There's just no chance. And Fnatic look totally different than they had for the rest of the tournament in this matchup. Finally, Rekkles is playing a more meta champion. He gets the Xayah to go with the Rakan in that bottom lane, not Sivir.
Oh,
and
boy.
this is Inting.
No.
Ole!
I want off this ride, Mr. Ole, please. Yikes.
Don't follow him in there, Impact. That leads to your ultimate doom. Doublelift tries his best to save the game. He's their only hope on the Kog'Maw. Tries the Uzi aggressive flash, but Rekkles has 5 items. 2 shots him. EU greater than NA confirmed. Fnatic don't even look that excited for booking their ticket to semifinals. Maybe it's because it wasn't quite as good a performance to lead there. They should have got there much easier. They shouldn't have needed the tiebreaker, but they did. But they beat Liquid.
Yeah, it's definitely something where they do feel that they should have proven themselves a bit earlier in this tournament, but hey, you've done it enough anyways, and you made it. And the most important thing, you're making your way to Paris. You're going to get there on the big stage. Going to be exciting.
Thank goodness. Get me out of that Berlin studio. Coming up after the break, we'll take a look back at our group stage predictions and see how they fared. It's okay. I'll say it's okay. And Pyke is coming to the Rift. He's spooky. Oh my. Welcome back to League on Lock. Eric and Mark here, and the MSI Group Stage is officially behind us. The standings are set after a couple of tiebreakers, so it's time to take a look back at what our preseason predictions were for these group stages. So let's look at what they are now that they're finally settled upon after a wild final day. You got RNG in first, Flash Wolves second, Kingzone third, Fnatic the final semi-final team, Liquid and Evos on the outside looking in. Okay, a lot of things you probably wouldn't have predicted based on those standings. Obviously, Flash Wolves that high up sticks out.
I can promise you, Eric, I didn't predict most of this.
I can promise you as well, because we've seen what your predictions were. And let's take a look at Mark's. First off, these again were way before the group stage actually started. So how did Mark do? Well, not bad.
Okay,
not bad.
Not great.
I mean, RNG, the record is correct. Fnatic and Liquid, the record is correct. Obviously, the glaring issue here is those Flash Wolves.
Yeah, again, I said I did not think that they were going to do as well as they did.
But most people thought that.
Right, but they definitely did find a way to do it. They had their success, Maple popping off. Again, in the top lane, they were getting things done. And hey, definitely got to give some props to my man Betty stepping up into those 80 carry shoes.
Yeah, Betty was the biggest question mark coming into this tournament with all these world-class 80 carries, and he performed pretty darn well. Also, Evos with 4 wins. Settle down there, Mark. Let's take a look at what I said beforehand, and I put RNG 1.
Hey,
people didn't like it.
That's pretty good.
9-1 was a little ambitious.
9-1 is definitely ambitious, but hey, getting RNG above Kingzone, not a lot of people would have had someone on top of Kingzone, so that's a pretty good prediction.
And I think RNG, because they got to Berlin so late, they kind of struggled in the early weeks, but to close it out, they looked fantastic. Fnatic 6-4, little too hyped there, but the 4 semifinal teams are correct. Wrong order, the records aren't quite correct, but I was just ready for disappointment from Liquid, and when they started 0-4, you're like, oh well, doesn't really matter anymore. But then they gave you that false sense of hope, brought it to a tiebreaker, and then look what happened.
I'm the glass is half full type of guy. I had both Western teams making it into the semifinals. I had hoped, I had dreamed. Not so much.
Not so much. Pyke is coming to the Rift. He's a support that's going to steal all your kills, and he looks like the villain from How I Met, or What You Did in the Last Summer, whatever that movie's called. Thank you very much for watching League on Lock. Eric and Mark here. We'll see you guys tomorrow.